Salute, peace, Knicks family. How y'all doing? I got the fellas with me today. We got Eru, we got Jay Boogie, we got DJ Shuttle, and of course Tony Crow. Yo, Black is time. What's good, fellas?
Coolin', coolin'.
What's good, my
Cool.
brother? How y'all, man?
All aboard. You got corporate shuttle tonight. You heard?
No doubt, man. Shout out to y'all, great men, man. Hope everybody having a great day, coming off a great weekend. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the most beautiful chat.
No doubt, no doubt. And you know what? Since we give a shout out to my daughter. She just did 4 consecutive hours of driving with me. You know what I mean? This is the longest stint, you know what I mean, straight. So shout out to her. She working on getting that license. So
Man,
35 more hours before she could take her road test.
that's what's up. What's up?
That's a
Uh,
long time, man. 4 hours, man. How's your nerves?
I mean, she good, man. She a natural. She a
Okay.
natural, way better than I was learning. So you know what I mean, I'm just enjoying it right now. I'm really waiting till, you know what I mean, everything's legit. She got the license, and now she could pick me up and drop me off, and and you know what I mean. I can have a drink or something when we go out and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to. But I ain't rushing it. I take her time. But yeah, shout out to the chat, CB Robin there, David L, Darren Wayne. Shout out to you guys. Um, I want to lead off with Grimes. Grimes defending Randle. I believe it was Ian Begley. You know, he had to talk with Grimes, and Grimes basically, you know, he said the narratives that are put out there about Randle is BS. Um, defended his work ethic, defended him really being injured, so that affecting his play in the playoffs. I love to see it, man, from a young kid, a young guy at that. You know what I mean? Just to me, that's showing some early signs of leadership. You know what I mean? Coming out and defending one of the main guys on the team. He could have easily said a short statement and not mentioned the BS part. You know what I mean? Not mention the injury and just said how much a good teammate is. I think he went above and beyond. Love to hear it from him. I want to know what you guys think about his comments, and specifically, who do you think he was referring to when he said the narrative? Do you think it was more us, the podcast world, the media world, or just the fans and you know the various chats and that who do you think he was referring to, and then what do you think of his comments? Well, we could start with Shuttle and go to Boogie and then Ero.
I think it's just overall. I don't really think it's the podcast world per se. I think it's definitely more like fans and media, just media in general. Um, but I just think there's a knock on Randall that a lot of people give him, that his he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. That's largely fans and media to some degree. And there's people that say he's just a stat patter and that kind of thing. But I think, I think Grimes is referring specifically to his narrative about not performing well in the playoffs. And he's here to let everybody know his guy was hurt. And, y'all gotta take a chill pill and relax off of him with that.
Yeah, I agree. Slim, what's good?
What's going
Miss-
on, man?
Out of the hiatus,
Yeah,
prepared from
yeah,
nowhere. Appreciate you jumping in, man.
yeah, man. It's been a while since I've been on. It's, it's been about. It's been a while. Well, I mean, I think I did a show a week ago, but consistently, it's been a little while.
It's the dog days of summer, man. I haven't done nothing in a while either.
Yeah,
Well, Paul, Father, best to you and everything, and with the fam and everything like that. So,
appreciate that. Yeah,
I know how it go.
yeah.
That's for sure. J Bug, what's your thoughts, man?
Hey, real quick, I just want to say, yo, congratulations to your little one. Anytime we got kids that accomplish any type goals in life, they need to be cherished. You know what I'm saying? And make sure they get the proper flowers, man. What up, Sam? Good to see you, my brother.
What's going on, Bug? Good
Appreciate
to see you, man.
My situation with Grimes, I love it. I love when you know what I'm saying, a young guy on the team that who doesn't really speak out as much. He more or less does more of his speaking with his game, whether it's a good game or a bad game. He just allows his play to speak for him. And anytime, when somebody like Grimes get a chance to speak upon anything amongst the team, that's big. And he's letting the people know, you know what I'm saying, that Julius was hurt. Some of us believe it, some of us, you know what I'm saying, wanted to act like he was using it for excuses. I'm one of the ones that believe he was hurt. He was hurt. I'm one of the ones that believe that. As far as who he's getting at, I think he's getting at anybody that touches a microphone. Anybody that speaks upon the Knicks. I don't care if you're on podcast, Twitter, any media, ESPN radio. He's speaking to anybody that has a microphone. Fans is fans. But, people that covers the sports, they're different from just being fans. Some of the fans, they just go to the game, watch the game, and after the game, they go home. They don't say nothing. But it's the ones that, that get on the microphone that, what I'm saying, that has the say-so about with their own opinion on what they feel about this person, that person, whether it's negative or whether it's positive, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So I think he was just letting it be known to anybody, what I'm saying, that has a microphone to be able to speak and where people can publicly hear them on, what I'm saying, on any type platform. So he's letting us all know, the dude was really hurt. So some other people that were saying bogus things, what I'm saying, he's letting it be known that the guy was hurt, what I'm saying, we should fall back and we should chill. That's how I took it.
No doubt. Eru.
Yeah, I mean, he just gave like the answer that he should give. Nothing really to it. He's gonna stand by his teammates. If the guys get traded or anything happens to him, they're gonna stand by their guy until something happens. So I mean, I don't really put too much into that type of thing. But he said the right stuff, and just his energy. You looking at the way that he said it, his mannerism stuff, body language, that type of thing. You can see that he's genuine in what he was trying to say and stuff. As far as like who is he talking to, he's talking to all of us. Because right, and Jay Boogie hit it on the head. Everybody got a microphone now, but Twitter, everybody's on Twitter. Even the sports figures, they're reading everything, they see everything. You know what I'm saying? They highlight stuff, they comment too, they reshare and repost things too. So this generation is so connected, like more than any other generation. So they see and hear everything. So it's like all of us are included in his message, man. So good stuff from the kid. I like him a lot. He's a good brother.
No doubt. Sim, obviously, we talking about Grimes and him defending Randle. What was your thoughts on it? And do you agree he's talking to everybody? Anybody with a microphone?
Yeah, I think he's talking to everybody. Fans included. You know what I mean? I think he's talking to everybody, and I think the biggest thing I took from it is, people like to say he's not dedicated to the team, so on and so forth. And, he wanted to just kind of set that record straight. Like, yeah, this dude cares about this basketball team. You know what I mean? As a teammate, I feel that he cares about the basketball team. You see the way he keeps himself in shape, so on and so forth. So, I think it was about that, just, being able to say, hey, I'm one of the people that's here with him every day. You know what I mean? So I can tell you what I see every day.
Yeah. Ask me and I can tell you, or ask one of the teammates and we could tell you better than
Right.
the people speculating.
Right.
One of the big things I took away from his comments, and it's not just his comments, there's a couple of things that we could touch on, but just the camaraderie of the team. I feel like this is gonna be a good year for us, for the simple fact of it's almost like that Big 15, right? They're a close-knit team. You hearing throughout the offseason different guys talking highly about other players on the team. You know what I mean? We just heard about Randle crediting Brunson on his success and allowing him to be as, not minus the playoffs, obviously, but play as well as he did last year and not coming in and stirring things up. I feel like this is another sign of just, the togetherness of the team, guys having each other's back, the continuity. I mean, we're bringing everybody back minus one guy and one new guy coming in. I think, man, this is going to be a nice, successful year just because of that togetherness. And a lot of the other teams around the league have some changes that they're going to have to adjust to, bigger changes that they're going to have to adjust to. Miami possibly is going to have a adjustment they're going to have to make if that trade goes through. So yeah, I like our chances moving forward. I like what we're doing, or the togetherness of the team.
We come together like the squad in Alabama. Brothers Voltron.
Another topic that I wanted to talk about was the Atlantic Division and the in-season tournament.
Mhm.
I think the Atlantic Division is the toughest division in the league. I really feel that way. I felt that way last year as well. What do you think is the tougher challenge? Well, let's talk about the in-season tournament. Your thoughts on it. We'll kind of try to break it down a little bit. I got a screen share of the brackets, if you guys could see that. We'll start with Sin. We'll go opposite this time.
Yeah,
What are your
absolutely.
thoughts on an in-season tournament? Are you fully? Do you understand what it is? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I understand what it is and how it works. Honestly, my thoughts are just that it's a moneymaker. You know what I mean? It's all for betting. It adds a couple of games to a couple of teams, to a few teams. Whoever advances, it adds a few games to them. You know what I mean? So it's a moneymaker because I can't see how it's so early in the season. How does it really make things more competitive? I'm not sure how that really makes things more competitive or takes away from guys sitting out or anything like that. You know what I mean?
And the only prize is monetary, right?
A cup and monetary, right? So it has no significance on the playoffs or anything like that. No significance. It's just no significance. So it's not like, if you win, you automatically get a playoff berth or or a play-in berth. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's just you get a cup and you get some money. I mean, I guess it can be. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not saying it's not going to be fun. I think it'll be fun. You know what I mean? I think it'll be fun, but really, I think it's about money for the most part. I think it's about money. Another way for people to bet on who's going to win the cup.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The championship is played in Las Vegas. Just another way to generate revenue. My
Yeah,
opinion.
Evil, you was talking about it before we went live, before we were on air. What was your thoughts?
This is like it's like putting bike lanes in New York City, man. Taking all the damn parking away. It's like, okay, something new here. I don't understand what the point is. Not everybody's going to be interested, and then nobody, not everybody's going to care too much. So, like Sim said, sports betting. That's the first thing I thought of because I like to sports bet. So I'm already trying to see how much money I could put down on the winner of these tournaments already, man. So it's, I guess it's cool. They're trying to be Europe so bad. That's what pisses me off, man. Because like the NBA is supposed to be the best players in the world, right? So we should be the ones dictating, the game to other people, and we shouldn't be taking from them because that's all they do in Europe. They do a lot of tournaments. So like if you look at their season stats and stuff, if you're looking up a player, you'll see like 4 or 5 different seasons in one season.
Hmm.
So it's like annoying. So I don't ever want the NBA to be like that, where we have like 120 game season here, another 20 game season here, and stuff like that, where guys are moving up and down totem poles, year after year. That's not exciting to me. To me, that takes away from the grind. the 82 game grind. They want to get away from that, I think. But I mean, that's what's been working for the US. So we need to. I feel like we need to do a better job of dictating the game to the world rather than us trying to do what they do. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Shut up.
Yeah. The load management of guys not playing games, and the money, the betting opportunities. These are just different reasons to try to shake it up and do something different. I don't know. Sometimes people just try to break things that's not really broke. Sometimes you got to just put a little spice in it, even if it don't work. 50 changed that song, that power song, and that didn't work. They changed it right back. Sim, remember that? You know what I mean? So sometimes even if it don't work, you gotta change it up. So, if anything, it'll have people talking. And the season is so long that, I mean, you even heard Jimmy Butler recently just said like he's not even really taking it serious until after the All-Star break. So, I mean, could this give a little juice earlier in the season and make the season a little bit more competitive? I think so. I mean, I don't think it's like a huge needle mover, but I think it might have a marginal positive impact. So, I don't think it's doing anything that's going to ruin the game. So, I mean, the early games are your regular games anyway. So, they're just regular games, and only until it gets to the finals, when you go to Vegas, is it really anything different. So, it seems like a marginal thing. So I'm not up in arms about it, but I'm not excited about it.
J Bug, what's your thoughts? Then I got some questions for you guys.
I think it's going to be helpful for, especially the guys that's not playing and not performing throughout the seasons. Now they're going to have to get up off their butt and they're going to have to play. And they was looking for another way to, twist things and get guys, understand the fans is real important to what's going on. You can do anything you want. You can mess with your money, mess with your team money. But this league money, you're not going to mess with this NBA money, and that's what they're trying to put out there, that the league is for the fans and get the fans back. And then they come right back, and then you see Jason Tatum. He's out speaking. He's talking about guys not playing and all this and that. And that that segment that he had, he calling people out. So, to me, I think it's going to help, and especially it's going to help for us because we're used to playing hard all season long. Tom gets us up and ready to play hard all season long, all game long, no matter what the situation. So I think a little bit of that's going to play into our favor. And then it also gives you a chance to look at what is your team? What does your team really look like? Are they fighting now? Is this the right team? Do we need to make some more moves? But the championship is in December. Then after that, you still got the All-Star break. You still got the trade deadline. So you'll be able to know and figure out what moves do you need to make, basically off this first part of the season going into the second part. Yeah, some people might want to turn up in the second half, but when you get a jump, it's hard to catch up. It doesn't mean you're going to catch up in the second half. So yeah, I'm okay with the situation. They're doing it for the fans. Too many guys. Too many guys are sitting down. And people want to come see him, want to see him play and everything. So I think they're just looking for a reason to get these guys up off the floor and get the fans what they spend their hard-earned money, because that's what it's about. What the fans pay to come see. And you sit down because you feel like, your braids ain't ain't tight enough or whatever your reason is, man. Get up on that hard floor, man, and show the people that you appreciate them spending their money coming to see you play. Because we the ones that help pay for your contracts, though. That's where I look at it.
No doubt about that.
I'm gonna give a couple things I like and a couple things I don't like. One of the main things that I don't like you pointed out, or you guys all pointed out, there's no ramifications to the season, to the playoffs. I would have liked somehow for them to figure out a way for this. Maybe you get a bye week if you know what I mean, in the playoffs, or a bye series in the playoffs or something. I think that will really incentivize teams to try to win this. I do think Um, I don't know if it affects the load management per se. I don't know if people really get up for these games any more than they would any other regular season game. I don't think they're going in looking at in that stretch in November and saying, "Oh, this is the tournament time." Um, and that pushing them to play better. So that kind of bothers me. Um, I do like the idea of an in season tournament. I do like the brackets and the way it's broken down, different from your normal division rivalries and things of that nature. So I think it has a potential to build some rivalries within the season. So I think that's good. My question to you guys is, because this is the first year of them doing it, and I don't think there's any negative ramifications of this series. I mean, of this tournament. There's I believe it's only one extra game, and that's the championship game. So only two teams will actually have an extra game. Everybody else has 82 games. The two teams in the championship will have 83 games. So
Correct.
so it's really only one extra one, you know what I mean, one extra game for that
Is
for
that
those
how
two
it goes?
teams. Yeah,
Because,
yeah, it's,
because there's an elimination part of it.
yeah, but those are all part of your regular season games. You know what I mean? They're parallel. So the, the
Because
like we'll see
trying
it
to figure trying to
when the
figure out how you make the elimination part of it
well, the schedule is not
part
out, but I'm assuming
of the regular schedule.
the games of those during that stretch from November 3rd to November whatever 28th, I would assume those games will be within your bracket.
Right, right. So you play games within. So it's like between those dates, the team you play teams that's in your bracket, that's in your group, and then I thought the winners of those groups, the teams that had the best records in those group, actually
Yeah,
go on and play in a tournament.
yeah. So I think it'll be like
So that
the
tournament,
top team from each bracket, and
right?
then two other teams, two wild card teams. But what I'm saying is, even those games. Oh, I see what you're saying. They're gonna have to finagle.
Right,
I mean,
because
I
don't
did
know if
read
it's
that
gonna
though.
be.
They said it was only one extra game.
I thought it was one extra game for each one of those teams, or it could be two extra games for the teams that go to the championship, something like
No,
that.
it's only it ends up however it ends up, Sim. It's only one extra game for the
For two
two teams
teams.
that go to the finals.
Yeah, they'll end up playing 83 games in that season, where everyone else played 82.
And that extra game doesn't count against the total wins for the season. That's the only game that won't count towards regular season wins and losses.
Mm.
So
So in other
technically,
words, all these games must be a part of the schedule except
It's
for the
part of the
championship.
schedule.
except the
That's correct.
championship.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the ones that are not quote unquote scheduled yet, there's going to be that gray period or that block, that time period where the NBA is allocating to, all right, well, based on this tournament time, we've got to get these games figured out with these teams.
They
So
doing too much, man.
I wonder if the schedule will be, excuse me, put out in segments. The regular season schedule.
Yeah, they might end up doing that. They're doing too much though, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
this is taken
crazy.
away from it.
That'd be crazy to put it out. And I mean, I guess just make sure that all of those teams play each other at the right times. Then if this is a tournament champion, a tournament, a knockout round, or what. See, this
And
is where I think
I'll read it to you, Stu.
personally, I think they should have just had this tournament during All-Star weekend.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're playing, you're playing these games during the regular season, and then some of these games have you in a group. All right, so if you take the winners of each group and during All-Star weekend, have them play. and then you had a championship game during All-Star weekend, I think it makes something better for All-Star weekend. And then if you have your trade deadline after the All-Star break, right? I'm not exactly sure when the trade deadline goes now. I think it's just before the All-Star break,
Yes,
right?
I believe so.
If you have it after the All-Star break, going into what I forgot who was saying it. Maybe it was DJ Shuttle about, now you get a chance, or maybe it was Jay Boogie. Now you get a chance to see, what type of things you need, et cetera, et cetera. That kind of, I mean, when it's so early in the season, December, that's so close to the start of the season, you can't even really tell what you need
Yeah,
until you get to, later on. So maybe if you have this during the All-Star break, and then you can have the trade deadline after the All-Star break, you can say, well, you know what? We was in this tournament. We need blah, 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 blah. Then you get the rest of your week off. They have the tournament, trade deadline, the rest of your week off. And then, you pick up with the rest of the season after the trade deadline. I think that would give a little bit of oomph during All-Star break. You know what I mean? Because the
kind of
All-Star game right now, trash.
Pushing all the deadlines, deadlines up a month and a half. You know what I mean? Because like you're saying, season starts at the end of October, right?
Right.
Yeah.
October, right?
So if it's the end of October, you get what, a week of games before the actual tournament starts.
Well, the tournament starts. I mean, it starts like at the beginning of the season. So
The
November
tournament
3rd.
starts November 3rd.
right.
Continuing through November 28th.
So
Right.
1 month.
Each team will play 4 designated group play games on quote unquote tournament nights.
Right.
1 game against each opponent in its group, with 2 games at home and 2 on the road.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna confuse like casual fans are gonna be like, what? Like what's going on here? And then the people like us, it's just gonna drive us crazy because we just want to get into the flow of the seasons and stuff, and we got to deal with this nonsense.
Well, I think as a pushback to what Sim was saying, as far as like an alternative, the pushback is with this model, these games that they'll be playing will just be regular season games. And to the casual fan that doesn't even know about the tournament, they won't know about the tournament and it won't matter to them. They're just watching the game.
I mean,
But
at the same time, I think it'll be players that have that same mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a regular season game. I mean, I don't think the players even look at it any differently.
Yeah, I'm focused on the playoffs, staying healthy in the championship.
I mean, I think, they could keep this model of it playing during the you're just playing your regular season games, and because you're playing in this group, it leads up to the tournament. But instead of having the tournament some separate day, just having those 4 teams that make it out of their group play during, or I mean, like that's when festivities are happening anyway, because now you got these 2 teams that are playing. I mean, everything stops so these 2 teams can play. I'm sure they want TV ratings and all of that. So all these other teams don't play. Everything stops. These 2 teams go to Las Vegas and play, right? And then things come back. Is that the way it's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, probably everybody else has a bye day. You know what I mean? Got the day off.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to, on nights when it's tournament nights, they're
gonna
going to
advertise
big thing on TV and all that.
TNT tournament night.
Yeah.
I like your idea though better, Sam. With like the All-Star break, leading up to the All-Star break, at least they can have a chunk of games where it's not related to it, and then once the All-Star break kick in, then they already know they already have a bracket of games, and then like everybody would know who's good at that point anyway. So then people would be more interested in, I think, at that point of the season.
Yeah. And if you're a player and you're the players union, you're probably like, nah, I need that break during the season for the All-Star season.
I think they could still get the break though. You know what I'm saying? They play that tournament and then they just go ahead and get that week off, the rest of the week off. Because with the All-Star,
that had to be like 2 weeks.
I mean, with the All-Star game, you got your All-Stars who play during the All-Star game, and then they got to go on and get their break. It's the same way for them. Because if it's one championship game, you know what I'm saying, they could play that championship game during All-Star weekend. you know, just like everybody else, and then go on to get their break.
Yeah, if it was one game, the championship, that would be lit. I think you could have a case for hype and build up for the tournament championship at All-Star Weekend.
Right.
As part of the, maybe you get rid of the skills challenge and that whole night, and you just do
get rid of the All-Star game, bro.
Just throw the whole All-Star Weekend in the garbage, man. Just replace it with this.
You name your All-Stars and get rid of the game.
You get that's it right there.
And have the championship, you know what I mean, the in-season championship game as replacing the All-Star game.
Hopefully they're listening.
But my question was, being that this is the first year, I foresee, and I want to know what you guys think. I think they keep it because, you know, like we said, it's only adding one game for two teams. I think they keep it and just modify it as they go along.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Tweak it as they go along. Maybe they get to a point where this has some ramifications on the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because I think that's where you really start to incentivize guys to think of these games as more than just the normal regular season game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if the winner was a guaranteed playoff you know, slot, you know, it'd be a whole different kind of attitude.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. You know, you talk about taking away the load management. That'll take away the load management. The way it's set up now, I don't think it does anything for load management. People they don't care about this tournament. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We want our guys ready for the playoffs. But if this meant that you get an automatic bid to the playoffs somehow, yeah, they'd be out there playing.
All right. Well, let's look at the groups real quick. Or let's just focus on the Knicks bracket. The Bucks, the Knicks, the Heat, Washington, and Charlotte. Where do you think we would fare in that bracket? I mean, I think we shouldn't fall less than 2. You know what I mean? Even though you need to be number 1 in the bracket to advance. Or I'm assuming you could get that wild card if you're the second best out of the, or one of the best out of the rest, if you will. So I can only see us being a wild card or winning our bracket. Anybody think we don't have a chance to win the bracket or be the wild card?
Well, I think, you know, when the Bucks won the championship, they had Dante DiVincenzo. So now we got Dante DiVincenzo. So I think that gives us a better chance to win the whole thing, I think.
There we go. Chenzo for the spot, huh?
Yeah. They can't win without him.
Hey, listen.
They haven't won without him. Right?
That's a theory.
Without him.
They can't win without him. I mean, listen, that's a good theory. I'm not gonna go against that one. I mean, the Heat did what the Heat did. As of right now, they got the same roster coming back, and they got Tyler Hero coming back, who didn't play last year. I mean,
they lost 2 guys.
Yeah,
they lost 2 guys.
They lost Vincent, but they got Lowry, and they're resourceful. And Strus is good, but he's only was playing as much as he was playing because Tyler Hero wasn't there. So, I mean, you got Tyler Hero in place of Strus. I don't think that's really a huge loss for them. So, you know, I think it'll be tough. I mean, I think it'll be tough, man. I think it'll be tough. I think like any of these teams could really win it. I mean, it's not like we're talking about a gang of games. Like you're talking about 4 games against 4 opponents. To me, it's anything goes. Any of these teams could win it.
Well, I'm looking at the head-to-heads. You know what I mean? We got to play them all, right? We play them all twice?
Yeah, everybody gets played. Yeah, everybody gets played, 2 at home, 2 on the road.
So really, I mean, I'm not too worried about Hornets and Wizards at this point. I think we could at least split with the Heat, right? We match up well with them. especially in the regular season. But we've matched up well with them for years, in my opinion. And then so it's really about that head to head with the Bucks. We split the Bucks, we split the Heat. We win the other 4 games. I think we golden.
I believe we're going to punish Miami every time we see them this year. I think
Moving
it's like
forward.
I think it's the same
They
scenario.
deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah, when we lost to Atlanta in the playoffs, when we came back the following season, we punished them dudes. So I look for them to really feel like some type of way, knowing that, really that should have been us. That's how they should that should motivate they whole every time they walk in the gym. That should be motivating them. How can I get better and get more prepared? I look for us to be battling and fighting with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to do everything they can to try to win the best record in the East, along with Boston. Neither one of them guys feel like they want to play on the other team's floor in the game 7. But I look for us to go ahead and give some serious problems towards getting up out of our bracket in this situation, because we're used to playing hard all season long. And I just believe once everybody come in that building, the team is going to be unified. They feel like they got something to prove, and they got something they want to do. And it starts with that bracket. I'm sorry, Washington, Charlotte. I'm sorry about y'all. Miami, y'all in the way. I need to see about Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And they're gonna have something to prove.
Yo, listen, I like the guy said in the chat that you just posted. You got Bridges coming back. If Melo's healthy, Miller. I mean, Charlotte got a decent team, man.
Nilakina, don't forget Nilakina.
Ooh. Wow. The French fry.
Y'all really gonna do that?
Don't forget. Fresh off the press.
Somebody told me he was signing up for the precinct, man. He was just like, he gonna be trying to be a cop. That's what I was. That's signing for the precinct, man. Put a badge on, Frank. Get out the league, man.
Taking civil service exams.
UPS is hiring.
Yeah, get a brown truck, man. Yeah, but shout out to him making the team, man. But you got 2 guys that haven't played all year. You don't just come back like that with 2 guys and think you're just going to really do some things. It's hard to get back and get, what I'm saying. If Melo's going to have to play and get comfortable and get, strong and really feel like, I can do things on his knee. And then you got, oh boy, he been out for the whole season, and you don't just come back from the all season. But they do got a lot of good players over there. They up and coming and everything. But take that Michael Jordan store up out of their arena, man. I can't even buy J's when I go to the Knicks Hornet game no more, man. So took the sneaker store out of there, man. Crazy. Gave him the J. Cole.
Yeah, what's really interesting about this tournament, though, is that typically at this early point in the season, most teams haven't really found their groove yet. Occasionally you get some teams that come out the box real hot, but there's so much parity that we don't really get that so much anymore. So I just think it's really hard to really call it, hard to predict it, and I just think that everybody in that bracket that we're in has enough quality players that anybody could win it. Washington would be like the only team I'd say, I doubt they get the first place. But I feel like Hornets, Knicks, Heat, and Bucks could all get the first slot.
Yeah. I think, given that it's so early in the season, look at Utah in the beginning of the season last year.
Killing.
Right?
First place.
They was
Great point.
You know what I mean? So you never know what teams are going to be like. How serious are teams taking it as far as resting their players, or is the NBA going to require that they play during these games or something? I don't know. You know what I mean? But how serious are they with the whole load management thing? I think all of that is going to play a factor into who actually emerges as the top teams in those groups.
What's a very interesting but indirect point to consider is this is the first year that they will be also instituting the rule of the game minimum requirement to make the All NBA team.
65, yeah.
So while not necessarily directly related, it's related. Because like, well, if you ain't playing games and you ain't trying to, be part of this tournament excitement, guess what? You're not going to be all NBA. And guess what? That means no max dollars and no super max dollars. So figure it out.
That's a great point.
This is like somebody from the analytics department came up with this. It's like, all right, well, if we do this, then we do that, then they got to play. And then, it's crazy.
And they're going to want to get those games under their belt early, right? You know what I mean? Once you hit that 65 mark, now you might be inclined to sit out a game here and there.
So, at the end.
So with the tournament being in the beginning, you know what I mean? It may be some direct correlation. That's a great point, Shady.
That's what I'm afraid of too, because they gave it a number, 65 games. So the guy's really going to do that. So, okay, I'll be around for the tournament, but then I'll take this day off. I'll take this day off, put that on the schedule. That sucks, man.
They got something to say because, I'll be watching these guys. I know they all covering the Clippers and the Lakers and all that, on their podcasts and everything. And it's been said from Tyrone Lue that, if you're on this team, you need to come to play every night. And then he also gave the keys to Russell Westbrook and said this is his team. And I feel like he's saying it's Russell's team because he know Russell's gonna come out there and play every night. So I'm just going off of that because I believe word is going around, what I'm saying? Maybe not in the media, but behind closed doors, what I'm saying? Guys need to get their guys up and be on the floor, and then and because the league has something they want to say about the way these guys are just sitting down and doing what they're doing. And for Tyrone to come out and say something like that, something must be official going on behind the doors. I don't care who you are, what team you is, the owner's just telling these guys, I'm not spending all this money. Get these guys up on the floor. We can pay for the injury. We can't pay the fans back their money because they ain't playing for nothing. So.
And for all the guys that want Tibbs out of here, that's one thing you ain't got to worry about.
Yeah. How much do you think the Knicks are going to want to, Tom Thibodeau is going to want to win this tournament? Tom Thibodeau wants to win. You don't care what it is. How much would the Knicks be actually trying to win this tournament?
To me, I don't think they go in. You know what I mean? Oh, it's November 3rd, tournament's time. I think based on how because they're going to go in trying to win every game regardless, whether it's November 3rd or January 3rd. But based on where they are, you know what I mean? We're in the tournament, you know what I mean? Then it's going to start to incentivize a little bit more, you know what I mean? Or we're the wild card, or we're the number one seed, whatever. I think at that point, now it becomes competitive, a little bit more competitive. You know what I mean? But they got to get their positioning first. I don't know if they looking at. I don't think anybody is really especially first year, first time. You know what I mean? They're just looking at it as regular season games. Now, once those results of the scores determine where you are, now I think it becomes competitive. And that money. You know what I mean? Some people will value that money a little bit more than others. You know what I mean? Like guys on a lower contract will value those that I don't even know. What is it? 500,000 a piece? You know what I mean? They'll value that money.
That's gonna be interesting too, because when it's playoff time, guys take their game to the next level. So it'll be interesting to see if guys at this so early in the season, really do snap into it and be like, all right, I want to win this, win this tournament, especially the first one, and they start playing real exciting playoff style basketball mid-season. Then you might have something, then you might have the framework of something special if they can work the kinks out. But the players make the league, man. If they show up for this tournament and really take it serious, then it'll be good,
Right.
Now I do think the Knicks are part of a certain group of teams that, like I said, once they're there, once they know their seeding and all that, they're gonna be motivated to win it. Like the younger teams, you know what I mean? Like you look at a Miami per se, or even like a Golden State, some teams that have been there, whether it be the championship winning it or just the finals, they're not going to probably be as incentivized. You know what I mean? They worried about the end, but the younger team, like I could see a Sacramento going off of what they did and making it to the playoffs last year. They could use that in season tournament and it fueled them. You know what I mean, during the regular season. Younger teams like ourselves, the Knicks, who haven't made it to the finals yet, and so they still got humps they got to get over. I can see them using it as a springboard. The more veteran teams that have been there, they probably not thinking about it.
Confidence builder.
You think Sacramento gonna be lighting the beam early in the season? Light the beam, guys. You know,
from game one, they're gonna try. From game one, they're gonna try that. Unless it gets corny, you know what I mean. But it seems like they love it over there. The fans love it over there, so that's something I think they rock with. I want to talk about the Atlantic Division real quick. We're gonna breeze through this part, and then I want to just talk about
real quick, Tom. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
About with the Knicks and Tom, we on fire mode right now. This is you're gonna get the best out of Tom, or you're gonna get the worst out of Tom. This is his fourth year. You don't have no extension, no nothing yet. So, and that's even from Leon Rose. From Leon Rose, we getting the word from James. He's passing that word down. You need to put on and do what you got to do. Because no coach, no owners, no coach, no GMs, nobody likes to go into their fifth year and don't have their extension already. You know what I'm saying? Tom don't have that. Leon don't have that. If Leon don't have it, his whole personnel don't have it. Everybody's on that 5 year. This is the fourth year. So right now, you can best believe everybody that Tom is going to be doing whatever it takes for him to get them guys up, ready, motivate, and win games and games and games and games. I don't care about the 500,000. I need a couple of more millions. You know, the only way you're going to get that is to prove your point, prove what you got to do to go into that fifth year. Because you don't have no contract extension by this time next year. You know we're getting a new coach, you know, so I look for us to just take off up and running, off rip, off gate. Nothing's holding back. And if you ain't performing, guess where you're going? Down at the end. I don't care who you are. That's why, you know, I'm glad we got a pretty much long, decent bench rotation because you got guys that's been in the playoffs that prove themselves in the playoffs. You got guys that need to still prove themselves in the playoffs, but still you got guys on this team that's been in playoff situations. So he has a reason to use everybody. But if you're not playing and performing, you're not getting in the way of me trying to get my money. That's where Tom needs to look at it. I hate to say it because I know a lot of people don't want Tom back. A lot of people feel Tom can't get us over the hump, but Tom don't, you know what I'm saying? Tom ain't really had a full roster to do their whole thing, you know. And when we lost Atlanta, we didn't have a point guard. This past one dude still couldn't get over. They couldn't shoot. So Tom needs a full complete roster. That's why I say this in tournament is going to give you a chance to figure out what you can keep and what you need to get rid of. But right here this year, Tom is on a mission, man, and I'm rooting for Tom. Put on, and if Tom put on, then the Knicks put on.
Facts. Yeah. Do you think the in-season tournament could become more important than the actual division champion? I mean, I know you don't get a cup or you don't get no money for winning the division, but to me, the division is more important. And you look at, you know, who we in the division with, it's potential powerhouse in the Celtics, potential powerhouse in the 76ers. The Nets are going to be solid, right? Nice young core, whatever. And Toronto, I mean, you're not necessarily concerned, but you also don't want to count them out either.
Not at all.
I really think the Atlantic Division is the toughest division in the league. I think it's kind of been that the past couple of years. What's more important, the in-season tournament or winning the division?
You know, we old school, man. So I mean, back in the days when Ewing was here, man, and all the other teams, you know, Barkley and all these guys, the Celtics and stuff, like it meant something. Like if you won the division, you know, like we was trying to win the division because we wanted to make a statement, all that type of stuff. So everybody really cared about that. Like that's how I stacked up my basketball cards and stuff. And whenever I got them, I used to see who was playing here and there because people really cared about that. It was like thing. But now things have changed, so that's why having an in-season tournament is necessary because we got to figure out what makes this generation tick. Something new has to come out in order for them to feel like it belongs to them. You know what I'm saying? So I think it might work, but I mean, I miss the division rivalries. Being like fighting for position and playoff position, and then really trying to win a division. That used to be a thing.
I mean, even the division still has ramifications on playoffs or on seeding.
Right.
Tie records and things like that. I'm wondering, will the play-in even have that type of significance? If not now, at some point. You know what I mean? So to me, it's still going to be the division.
Right, it's still the division because it has playoff implications.
Yeah.
Now, if they could have somehow tied in the divisions instead of having different groups tied in the divisions with the in-season tournament, then it would have had a little bit more significance the tournament because you would have been playing. I guess it still does because you're playing some division rivals, right? But and maybe you didn't maybe it didn't have any significance on the playoffs itself, but maybe if you made it have some significance on things that happen in your division, tiebreakers or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But still, I think because the division has playoff implications, it's still going to be more important.
What you think, Shadow?
Agree. I mean, to me, it's by far the division. So, you can have a worse record, but win your division and be a 3 seed versus a team with more wins that ends up being a fifth or a 6th seed. So, you definitely still want to win your division. It doesn't have the same pride and
monetary value.
Yeah, it doesn't have the pump your chest out impact that it had from the 80s and the 90s, but you still have reasons to want to win your division, and playoff seeding is real simple, and direct for that.
You get a banner, right? You get a division championship banner, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What do you think our chances are of being tops in our division? And I'm gonna make it a 2-part question. The chances of us being tops in our division, and then if we are, where do you think that puts us seeding wise in the East?
I think the Knicks can top out at, well, I don't want to say there's no limit, but I'm thinking best case scenario, first in the division, number 2 seed with Milwaukee getting the 1st seed.
Can we? Okay, I see what you're saying. Milwaukee's number 1, Knicks number 2. We win our division.
Right.
I like that. Matter of fact, go again. Start over and say it again. I like that. Us winning the division. I just believe Boston has just got that weaker. You don't just give up your heart and soul, your defense, and your player of the year. The only dude that's on your team that'll punch somebody in the mouth. The only dude that'll check their all-star players and everything. And then you give up your bruiser coming off the bench. That's a lot they lost. So I think they lost a lot, even though they got Porzingis. But all that's not guaranteed. Last year, we showed them that, this is what time it is with us. And you don't lost 2 of your top major, strength parts. In Philly, they just a wild case right now. You don't know where James is going. You don't know if James is coming back, and even if he come back, what condition or anything like that. You don't know if Embiid ready to tell him, I want up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best to talk to PJ. I'm gonna see him on the 19th to find out really what's happening with that situation. But I don't think nobody else is in our way besides Milwaukee. But the Knicks gotta want it. You got to want it. It's not going to be given to you. You're going to have to want it, and you're going to have to go and perform each and every night. in our building and also on the road, just like last year, man. Last year we was above 500 in every scenario. You know what I'm saying? At the crib, on the road, in the playoffs, we was above 500 all the way around the table. The Knicks got to continue on feeling that hunger and continue on doing what they're doing. But I definitely think we can win the division. I definitely feel we better than Philly. I definitely feel like, Boston don't want to see us, but it's up to the Knicks. You got to want that, man. You got to want it.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. These trades that are all pending too, the Dame Lillard and all this other stuff that have implications for Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly as well too, with the Harden, those trades and stuff. So I mean, we basically got three teams that we don't know if they're going to be bottom dwelling teams or if they're going to make something big changes and stuff like that. As far as we just talking about the division. As far as the Celtics, I agree with Boogie. They got rid of their heart and soul of the team. I just don't get that. So they're out of touch. So they're I think all these teams in the division are in our little 5-team division. I think we're the only team that has the consistency. We have like a coach that's been there for X amount of years. We keep trying to get better. We're trying to keep some continuity going. So we're like the only team out that 5 that really has something rolling. So hopefully our guys can get it, because I can't really go against our team, man. So out of that 5 in the Atlanta division, I like our chances winning it out.
Yeah, and
that'd be a nice improvement.
Tone, I also just want to quickly point out last year's second seed in the Western Conference was only 51 wins, and last year's second place was Boston with 57 wins. So we're talking somewhere between, if we use that as a projection, we're looking somewhere between 51 to 57 wins, and I think 53, 54 wins is a reasonable target. And I think that has us, right there fighting for it.
Yeah, I think those teams have super. I think the Knicks are going to have their chance early in the season, maybe to create a little bit of space, and then those other teams are going to have to catch up, right? Because the Knicks should have some chemistry where Boston, they may have to find the chemistry. I agree with Boogie, man. I feel like they got a lot softer. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the gentrified version of Boston. You know what I mean? That's how I look at them. They got a lot softer. We don't know what's happening with Philly. You know what I mean? Brooklyn should be okay, but I don't see them being like top of the division unless they get Dame Lillard or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think the Knicks will have a chance to, get a little bit of a lead, a little bit of a cushion maybe early in the season, because I think they should have a little bit more chemistry than maybe those other teams, depending on what happens. And then, later on in the season, it's going to be when that dog fight really begins.
So, I mean,
if anybody's set for a hot start, the Knicks are set for a hot start more than the rest of the division.
Right.
So I'm with you on that. I'll ring the bell for that.
We that would be great, and that would be a great change of tradition of how we've been starting. Whether it's under Tom Thibodeau or just obviously the past 3 years, we traditionally haven't got off to a good start, but this is probably the most cohesive we've been. This is the we've been together the longest.
And we're gonna sidebar that fast start with RJ Barrett. Fast start. Hello.
Wow.
RJ Barrett. Fast start.
We about to talk about RJ in like two seconds too.
Hey, hold up, Tone, for you going to that segment. Yo, we got 18 people watch. I mean, we got 18 likes. We got 50-something people watching. You know what I'm saying? Touch them like buttons. You know what I'm saying? Send my man in the right direction where he need to be. He ain't making a comeback. He been here. He's just adding on. Hit that like button, please. Subscribe, share, do what you got to do. And my man Keith turn. I remember I said they gotta want it, Keith. I see you talking in the chat. They gotta want it. I'm not overrating our team.
Appreciate that too. Hit that like button. So my last week I talked about who we thought would make the biggest jump coming next season. A lot of people actually said, no one individual because of how deep our roster is. And I asked specifically, about Grimes, about IQ, about Dante. I kind of intentionally left RJ out, but today I kind of want to talk about RJ. With him playing in FIBA this year, FIBA about to start. Canada not to just traditionally playing well in FIBA basketball. The past few times, I think it's time for Canada to actually have a good FIBA. I think RJ is going to be instrumental in that, and I think this could help him get that quick start to the season, coming off some FIBA games, especially if he performs and they perform in the FIBA games. I think that could be a jump start to him coming into the season hot, you know what I mean, and not having to find his way come January or come, middle of the season. So I want to get your thoughts on RJ, Team Canada. Do you think this is the year that he actually starts the season off in peak shape, in peak RJ? And then if that's the case, how good can he get? Or do you think if he starts off hot, he's only going to temp down by the end of the season? Who brought up RJ? We're gonna leave.
I did.
There you go. We leave a shuttle.
Well, I'm just saying for those of us that want RJ to perform better, I think it's okay that we want him to perform better. For those of us who think he's been doing great and he's only 22, he's only 23, and you have all kind of excuses and storylines, let's just get it all into perspective right now. He's not on USA team. He's on Team Canada, and he's not even going to be a starting player. So, like, that just, to me, that gives an assessment of who he is. Like, you're in Canada, you're not even a starting player. So, hopefully, this is some motivation that you're not even the guy in your own country. Hopefully, this is some motivation.
Is he not starting, though? I don't know. I know he started the last go-round.
I mean, you got Jamal Murray, you got SGA. I mean, they probably
Wiggins. You're right. Les Wiggins is at the 4.
With those players, you gotta have a thug. So you probably starting Dylan Brooks over him.
Ooh, yeah.
You gotta have somebody like that.
I was just saying that should be motivation if Brooks is starting over RJ.
So I mean, hopefully, just playing for the country though, and playing against the other countries and the best players of the other countries, hopefully it's motivation to him. I mean, one thing I feel like that we don't have to worry about with RJ is that he stays challenged and he stays focused, and even if he doesn't perform well, he'll come back, he'll try, he'll practice, and he'll get himself and he'll get it together. You just got to just be good earlier and more consistent. You got to shoot more jumpers. You got to work out more. So I'm just hoping that this tournament experience for him, has him more in the flow of the season earlier, and he comes back, man. Like, because this team really needs RJ to, like, it's year 5, bro. Like, this team really does need RJ to just be better, like not explosive, not go to 25 points, but make the right plays. Make it, maybe instead of 2.8 assists, maybe you're getting 4 assists. Maybe instead of 40-41 from the field, you're shooting 45-46 from the field. Like, more defense, more hustle. Like, that's the better I need to see versus him actually just exploding in the points per game category. So, hopefully this tournament experience does it for him. I don't know. I can't really call it with RJ. I ain't gonna hold you.
You gave him more love to me because he gets no love from me at all. I keep all the way real. Where I come from and the guy ball players I've been around, what my understanding is if you do 4 years in college, it took you too long to develop. So you one and done, you come out. But you come to the league and you ain't got it in 4 years, it tells me you might not get it if you ain't got it by now. Before, I don't have no wishes, no hopes, no nothing on RJ. I just got to see for myself. And then, like you said, he might not even start for his own country. That'll be a disgrace and a disaster if a dude that got cut starts over you in your position. I'm going to say it again. If a dude that got cut starts over you in your position, a guy that the team said they don't even want
his contract is up.
When the team tell you we don't want you back, you
under any circumstances. Any circumstances.
We don't want you back over here no more.
No pay cut. No.
So RJ, he got to do something, man. This is 5th year, man. He got to do something.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to take it light. I was definitely trying to take it light because I could do some RJ bashing in a minute. I don't want to go there. I'm trying to give some positive.
I gotta give him two things in his defense. Well, one, somebody in the chat, I forgot who it said, but they said he's starting at the 4. So, but if he isn't starting, I agree that is an atrocity and it's not a good look. I'm under the impression that he was going to be starting. But I will say this: there is 11 NBA players on that Canada team. Like the only team that got more NBA players is USA, right? So let's just give it a little bit of perspective.
Tone, let's go back 1 week. The topic was RJ possibly playing power forward, and this is exactly what I said. This guy's a power forward in the NBA. He's a power forward.
You did.
That's what he is. That's what he is. You can't be a shooting guard or a small forward and not have elite athleticism, elite ball handling, elite shooting. He's over 3. He's over 3 in those areas.
His position,
unless you're a backup.
His positions is surely going up, and when your positions is going up, it's almost mean you almost out the door. When you lost to Atlanta, you come back to the year we play in Atlanta, he comes back, he's the 2 guard, but Reggie's the 3, right? And then after that, we get rid of Reggie and we move RJ to the 3. Okay. Now everybody's saying he might get extra playing time at the 4. So you're not wanted as the 2 no more, and we draft you for a 2. You ain't helping us at the 3. Now we talking about a 4. He's almost making his way up out of here.
He just got a new contract. Where you going?
That's Leon's fault.
What if he's a 4? What if he's a 4 the whole time? And the fact that Randle's here, you know what I mean? You got to move him. You got to put him somewhere else.
He gonna have more fists than Obi behind Julius.
Let me see what Eru and Sue got to say. Go ahead, Eru.
I was trying not to engage in that conversation, man, because I'm tired of RJ too, man. I'm so tired of him. I'm about to disrespect him. He's like Justice Winslow, man. 6'6", like 220 something. Justice Winslow came in this league. He was supposed to have been a Swiss Army knife as well. But it's okay for him to fall back into his spot where he's just getting like 10 points per game. Coming off the bench.
That is a low-key great comparison, Eru. I gotta salute you on that. Great comparison.
I mean, it's not a diss to either one because Justice Winslow still get like 5-6 assists. That's gonna be 5 or 6 rebounds. He legit gets 4 to 3 assists sometimes in the seasons, depending on how many minutes he play. So I mean, he's not a bad player, but the only thing is that RJ is getting shots. He's a volume scorer. I'm watching him with that Drew Hanley, whatever the guy's name is. I can never get his name right, but he got him now doing floaters in the lane and doing moves like stutter. Oh, let me go fast now. Like really, that's stuff that you teach like little kindergarten kids how their first move. Dribble slow and then go fast. To go past somebody. That's something you teach bitty leagues kids, the kids that can't really dribble with both hands. That's how you teach them to get their shots off, man. So this is a kid that's been one of the best players of his age group, his draft class. He's been one of the best players up until this point, but 5 years in the NBA, and now he's learning little kid moves. Like it drives me crazy. People was arguing with me about that because it's just only a 30-second clip. It actually was a 90-second clip. You know what I'm saying? And it's like 5 years now. This guy, it's like that. I'm like annoyed with him already. On the flip side, for the FIBA tournament. Yeah, but on the flip side, FIBA tournament, maybe he'll, because he'll be playing for his country. He'll be playing up for. Usually, guys play well, in the season once they come from FIBA. So that's what I'm hoping, that he gets all of the jitters out the way. Then we come into training camp, he's ready to play, and by the time the regular season starts, he'll be, he won't have the RJ Barrett, ice. I can't stand that kid, man. Like I said it in the chat. We have a MBK chat. I can't stand talking about this kid and arguing with people day in and day out about this damn kid. Like yeah, he's only 22, 23. But listen, man, like I was 22, 23 at one point too. But at some point in your life, you gotta freaking grow up and get better at something. Like come on, man. It's like it's tired of it already. Same thing with Mitchell Robinson and all them other guys too, man.
Hey.
But that's another story. There.
Not too much on me.
Hey, I just hope RJ can take a step, man. I'm looking at his trainer, Drew Hanlon, said, they tried working on shiftiness and it just wouldn't stick, right? Because he's just not a natural shifty player. So now they're working on him getting players on his hip and using his size and strength. I think RJ's got to figure out what his body really does in the NBA, right? And in college, it was one thing. He got an NBA and figured out, or to his surprise, he don't have the speed. He don't have the jumping ability as these NBA players. He's got to figure out what he really does well to be able to score. You know what I'm saying? To be able to create his own shot, because really, he basically his only move is catching the handoff, going down the left side of the lane. That's basically his only move. He has nothing else in the bank. You know what I mean? He can't catch the ball and get into a jab step position and shake his defender. He can't do that.
Not without backing up.
You know what I'm saying? So
my God.
He's got to figure out what he does well to be able to score consistently in this league.
Simmons, you're coach, man. So shiftiness. Can you coach shiftiness? We talk about teaching somebody how to play basketball. Or we're gonna get your shiftiness together? Because he was doing it last year. Last year, all the videos was him trying to get his shiftiness together.
Right?
What is that? Is that a thing?
I mean, you do. You can coach shiftiness in different ways to move your body, but at some point, you figure out, I might just not be a naturally shifty person, and you got to figure out another way to go. What am I going to work on? Because I can't keep working on shiftiness, but then I can't implement it in the game. You know what I'm saying? Shiftiness has a lot. Like Jalen Brunson just has natural footwork, natural motion, natural shiftiness that makes it hard to stop. RJ Barrett is stiff. He's stiff. He needs to figure out what LeBron does. Because LeBron James was a naturally stiff type of player. So how did LeBron James figure out how to get free? Like, study LeBron James. You're not going to be LeBron, but study, how did LeBron James get free? What did he do, in his game? Now, LeBron could jump higher than RJ.
Yeah, I was going to say below the rim LeBron.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And he just doesn't have that naturally. So it might be a good idea for them to shift course in what they're trying to do and teach him how to use his power, but does a power player work from his position? Right? Like Paul Pierce worked 20 years ago from that position.
That should be his bag, though. Like you mentioned on Brunson, Brunson with the shiftiness. A lot of times Brunson, he's not really doing nothing to blow past nobody. He just knows how to stop, free, step back, catch you and then cross over and do it. He has this little bag that he got. RJ don't have none of that. They literally sitting there teaching him okay, wait there. Okay, now go. Like that. Like really, that's like little kid stuff, man. Like I know you as a coach watching him. If you was on the opposite side, yo, we locking up RJ Barrett every night, you know, because there's no way we're gonna let this kid do nothing to us unless they send, like you said, let's say send a pick and then have him going downhill, you know, untouched. You know, but like for 5 years, he couldn't make a layup at the rim. Last year he was a little bit better. You know, but these little things here, we shouldn't be talking about this. And for people to say, "Oh no, he's young," and this and the other, listen, man. You know, like my kids are young. I got a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. You know, I'm gonna work on the moves, the same moves that I'm working with RJ with. You know what I'm saying? But by the time they get 23, they're gonna destroy RJ Barrett.
You know, for me, what really just made me just shake my head with that video is that I saw the Grimes video. Anybody see the Grimes video where he's playing? I think it looks like he's playing at a Houston college.
Yeah,
he's doing spin moves. He's turning around, and I'm like, that looks like an NBA player. Hopefully, y'all saw the video I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw you.
I saw it. I said you.
Yeah, I saw RJ's video and then Grimes' video. It couldn't have been maybe 1 or 2 days after. And I'm like, damn, you look at RJ's like doing his basic moves, and then I'm looking at Grimes. It's looking like, okay, that's a guy that's going to be somebody. But I told y'all that last year.
You know what Eru said when he said teams is coming in, we locking RJ down. It's a disgrace if RJ gets locked down. One is you're getting the third best defensive player. The number 1 is on Brunson, and number 2 is on Julius, and the third guy they're using to trap Brunson. So you're getting the worst defensive player, and then on the flip side, no more, you're not checking the best offensive player. You're supposed to be locked and loaded when you're on that floor every night. What? I ain't got the best what in front of me? I'm smashing whoever's in front of me. So he doesn't have that in him. And the thing is, when is somebody's going to get in his ear and tell him, yo, it's okay not to be nice. It's okay that you don't have the oohs and ahs. My man PJ been like that for years at 6'4.5". You know what I'm saying? With really no skills, but he been in the league because of hard work, defense, you know, and playing hard. Maybe this is what the role RJ need to go. Forget trying to look like LeBron. Look like somebody like that know how to stay in the league for years and years and don't have offensive skill sets, but a knockdown shot, but a crafty defensive player. I do all the basics, boxing out, rebounding. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time RJ even packed the floor like a Duke player? Come on, man.
But let me just put some perspective though. He's the third pick. That's why. You
can throw that third pick out the window. That's over.
You can't. If he comes out and puts in a PJ Tucker role, that's still not going to be enough for the majority of fans in general anyway, because they're going to be still saying you was the third pick in the draft. You're supposed to give more than that. So that's what I'm saying.
But we constantly yelling we need a 3-and-D though. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't have position. So why not take pride in playing that position, you know, and realize, okay, if I ain't got all these things, I'm having all these problems, and you know, creating to my game, and I'm not getting it yet. Maybe I need to try. It's time to try to do something else that can benefit and help the team instead of every year I'm trying to work on the offensive end. Dog, come on, you came out from up under Steve Nash, dude.
Let me ask this before we're gonna get out of here. is this the year? Is this the year where RJ gets the Randle treatment? You know what I mean? Where everybody's had enough.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it in my mind. This is the year. I mean, the contract kicks in. You know what I'm saying? So this is the year that people are really having high expect. You got to earn $23 million a year or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn that money. This is the year that he gets that treatment and people start looking at, okay, well, who's the next guy? You know what I'm saying? If he ain't getting it, who's the next guy? I mean, people already looking at it, right? But this is definitely the year that RJ gets that treatment. There's no doubt about it.
Facts.
Especially, you know, and a lot of it could shift from Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm asking. That's
If,
kind of what I'm
if
asking.
Randle comes in and is having another all NBA caliber season, some people are going to be like, I can't argue with it no more.
Yeah.
And what is RJ doing? You know what I'm saying? And Brunson is the golden child. So
Yeah.
right now,
Julius got a haircut.
RJ was the golden child.
RJ was the golden child.
Let's not act like he wasn't. So
let me
that's
tell
why
you.
I'm like, is this the year where he's stripped of the, you know what I mean, the golden armor?
Well, yo, Julius Randle got a haircut because now we ain't gonna be able to tell the difference between RJ and Julius on the court now. You know what I'm saying? RJ got the afro, so people gonna think that that's Julius. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's RJ. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something, man. But yo, Theo Pinson, he said that RJ was irrationally confident. I mean, that hits the nail right in the head, man. There's no reason for him to be as confident as he is. Even the way that he talks in interviews and how he be walking and like his swag and stuff, the way he be walking, like he is just the man. Like, I'm the man. Like, he just got it in his mind that I'm the man, you know. But I mean, man, there's so many different people to draw from just from the Knicks organization. Even just like watch tape, just like I don't know. Like Julius said, Julius Randle didn't watch tape. I know for sure RJ Barrett didn't watch no tape because there's no way that he could watch himself play basketball and be like, "That's good," you know. I don't know.
I was up real close, and one of the trainers told RJ when he was coming out for his workout, and he told me, "Yo, this is your night." Guess what RJ told him? I'm good. That's all he said. I'm good. When you step into a game, yo, and somebody asks you, how you feel like, yo, I feel like putting on today. I'm ready to crush something. You know what I'm saying? How you come into the game and prep and how you leave your crib tell you how you going to get to the game. And when you get to the game, all that's going to carry on how you going, enter that locker room and how you feel about everything. You know what I'm saying? It just, I just don't know. I pray and wish for the best for it, but yeah. I got to see it, man. I got to see it. And you brought that comparison up, TC. You brought that, is this the year for the Julius? Yeah, this, because Julius don't see nothing but that money that old boy got over there in Boston. And he's in position where it's not saying the Knicks going to give him that money, but he's in position to fill out them. He already two-time All-Star. Already two-time all NBA team. Let him do it again. Let him do it again. And Julius, that's what he's feeling like. Oh man, I've been putting up them numbers. Julius get ready to do what he do in the regular season. What he do in the playoffs, I don't know. But we know for sure Julius gonna show up in the regular season. And this is what we want from RJ. Until we get it, I'm one of the ones that I'm not even, it is what it is what you do. You gotta show me that I spend a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? When I ain't when Sam and Nick Van TV and all these other shows ain't getting them packages, I'm in the Delta spending high dollar to see it. So that's why I talk about these players like I talk about these players, but I spend my hard-earned money. I could be doing something else with it. Then you wonder why I don't put you in so many bars. For what?
Yeah, money too, but time. We waste a lot of time talking about these Knicks, man. A lot of time and energy. Like me getting aggravated, or me and Boogie getting aggravated over RJ the way he's doing. That's a lot of wasted energy on this squad. Do they waste that same energy on themselves the way that we talk about them?
I might have to clip this whole segment.
Yeah, man, they got to give it up. I mean, back in the days in the 90s, that's why people love it so much. We keep talking about the 90s era because those guys was giving it up. We didn't have to say, they need to play harder or anything like that. They were just giving it up. We had a bunch of bums on the team to keep it a buck. These guys were getting 50 wins every year, because they brought it every single night. We didn't have to, they invented that term. We didn't say that. We didn't say, oh, they need to bring it every night. They set the precedent that we keep saying up until this day. They need to bring it every night because they set the precedent back in the 90s. So I don't know what's happening right now, man.
Hey, Tony Crow, I know you say you get ready to jump on. Quite sure everybody want to see the game and see what we look like. But real quick, I just want to shout out your Monica McNutt. Appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're holding it down on the sidelines, calling the girls' game and doing everything, the draft and everything. Keep doing what you're doing. I also want to shout out, Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy for all the years and years they don't gave us and provide us on that sideline. That sideline would never be the same without them three together. I'm gonna say it again, would never be the same. Mama Dares go that man down, and all that stuff, man. We're gonna miss that, for the NBA to get rid of those two guys. I don't even know why they brought Doc in there. For what? He can't even tell you about the game to his team. What are you going to tell us to the whole world for, man? And you can replace them, man. Doris, I can rock with Doris, but I know me personally, I'm going to miss Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, man. I just want to shout out those three people, man.
Just to piggyback, let's start a petition and get them on the road games that Clyde can't get to. You know what I mean? We that'd be a nice little commentating duo for the Knicks road games, Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. Get them both. You know what I mean? And when it's time for Clyde to you know what I mean, to move on, they already in house.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, Tone. If we're not going to bring Mark Jackson in the coach, can we bring him in to take the mantle and take the baton from Clyde? Can we do that?
Yeah, I'm with it. Not get rid of Clyde. You know what I mean? When Clyde's ready to go. But yeah, I'm with it. I know. I just try to clarify. You know what I mean? So people out there know. You know what I mean?
I definitely don't want no Clyde slander and backlash.
But
I love Clyde.
And go ahead and get JJ a job. Get JJ a job on the coaching staff. We looking to better the players. We want better players. When we gonna strengthen up the bench on the coaching staffs? I don't want to look down and see Othello with that bubble gum no more this season. I don't want to see that. I want to see that.
Othello everything's like a goat down there. I'm the whole game with the gum, man. Come on, man.
I have to second that. I don't really feel like our coaching bench is up to par with the top coaching benches in the league. Like an indication of how strong your bench is will be that your bench coaches are getting interviewed for NBA coaching jobs. Like I don't think any of our bench coaches are on the radar anywhere for anything.
They think Udonis Haslem may get ready to go straight to that assistant coach because he retired. You think he'd get ready to go be a part of that? You know what I'm saying? Along with Bob McAdoo and Alonzo Mournings and the Quins and all. I shout out to them for their staff. If our staff is up to par, we can get guys. Larry, you need to be in here rocking with Julius, Larry Johnson, on a consistent basis. Marcus Camp, you need to be here with Mitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to see y'all only when the playoffs come and we shout your name out on the Jumbotron and you talking about what up. Nah, you need to get in and help this team.
Yeah, I'm tired of taking pictures with these guys at these Knicks events, man. Get your ass out there on the court and coach these guys, man. I got enough pictures of Larry Johnson and all these guys, man. Get out of here. Go do something to help the team. I'm not no little kid no more. I'm like 40-something years old now. So listen, man, get out of here. I'm taking no picture with you.
I mean, a lot of that though does have to do with the players too. I mean, one of those things when we had that conversation with Clyde, and he said the players don't reach out to him. You know what I mean? Like him in particular. So I'm assuming if we got guys that's not reaching out to Clyde, they probably not gonna reach out to Camby and LJ and you know what I mean. So a lot of it, I think it has to do with our players needing to step up and ask for help or ask for guidance or you know what I mean. So
not be afraid to, man, and not think it's. I mean, look at Amari Stoudemire. You know what I'm saying? He went to Akeem Olajuwon, to say, I got to figure out how to get me a post game so I can extend my career. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes for a player to get a little bit older, but younger players should be able to see like these guys, this dude went to this player to help extend his career. Let me go to these dudes early. You know what I'm saying? I go to them early. Now, not only will I extend my career, but I can, I can get better. I can become
I'm
better.
I'm gonna give a big shout out to my guy Trendell. and the Henderson family. School Henderson, while everything's gonna say he's from Atlanta, his family and his roots is actually from Long Island. And if you haven't seen already, he's training with Steph Curry, doing ball handling drills. He hasn't even played one game yet.
Yeah. And the only and yeah.
So I think a guy like Brunson on this team, could potentially help that. He's the son of a coach, a son of a former player and a current coach. And I think just like the network that he runs in makes, sometimes it's like you got to be in the circle. Just because you're in the NBA don't necessarily mean you in circles. Like now with the young players, it's like if anybody got kids that's teenagers or older, like these kids are so much more isolated doing their own thing and living in their own world, in their own space versus going outside and riding their bike with, the homies or playing stickball or, whatever it is in the street, and that goes across the country. So,
yeah,
just because you're in the NBA, you just don't have the social skills to be able to, to get yourself warmed up to, connecting with other players. That's something that you have to really be taught, trained, and it has to be something that you develop. That's a whole skill in itself.
yeah.
Networking.
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, this whole world of basketball is different now. Way different today than it was back in the day. Every kid has a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're not playing basketball outside anymore in a lot of places. You know what I mean? Some places they are, but they're not. Kids who consider themselves a college prospect, they're not going out and playing. Like they might go and play in some of these well-known street ball leagues, right? But just to go out there and play for the love of it, they're not really doing that anymore. It's all, I got my personal trainer, and then I got my AAU tournament. My personal trainer, AAU tournament. Personal trainer, AAU tournament. And then in those AAU teams, when you get your high-level AAU teams, you're not really developing camaraderie within that team. It's more, I'm pulling this guy, they're pulling this guy, and they're putting them all together, the greatest talent. Now we're going to go out there and hoop, you know what I'm saying, with the greatest talent. And so they don't develop the sense of loyalty to a team. They don't develop, they don't learn the whole
camaraderie.
That they got the development aspect as far as having a personal trainer, but then they get a guy and they rock with that guy, and if that personal trainer is not teaching you right, because so many players, I got this guy, I'm rocking with him, this is who I'm going with. Like now they getting taught the wrong things, and then you got parents, everybody wants to be like Lonzo Ball's dad now, you know what I'm saying, trying to engineer their kids' careers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's crazy. And you got, they telling their players to do this while the coach is trying to teach them that. And it's really all over the place, you know what I mean, with the way things are in basketball right now, as far as, everybody's trying to turn their kid into a superstar and not really just teaching them the love for the game and how to grow up respecting the game so that you get better on your own. I mean, I've literally had to tell some parents, yo, back off. Coach through me. You know what I'm saying? If there's something that you see, talk to me, but you got to give the kid a little bit of space to be a kid. They're not going to be perfect. They're going to make a ton of mistakes. You got to give them a chance to be a kid. You know what I mean? And so then some kids I've been seeing kids crying after the game, not because they lost, because they don't know what their parents going to say when they get in the car. You know what I'm saying? Or their coaches is acting retarded out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So these kids not really loving the game like that. They're playing because they have talent, or for, because they want to say I'm on this team or that team. But I feel like a lot of them are losing just that love, the pure, I just want to be on the floor. I just want to hoop. I don't care who I'm hooping with. I just want to play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so now when they get to a higher level and you get the business aspect of it and the politics of it and all that stuff, some of them like, I'm gonna just do what I gotta do, man. I really don't want to be out here working 24 hours a day trying to get better, this and that. I'm gonna take what I got. You know what I mean? Because people haven't taken the time to develop in them that love for the game, or help them develop that love for the game, because it's so much pressure on an early age for them to be great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got, I had a player, and somebody, said to their parent in the 8th grade, "Oh, they could be an All-American. They'd be an All-American." I'm like, you don't know what. Why put that on right now?
Pressure.
Just let them play basketball. And
Then it
love
becomes
the
a
game.
job.
You know what I'm saying? And now that pressure is there, and the parents is like, for real? I mean, this young lady is on an eating schedule. Parents put her on an eating schedule. Like, well, you got to wake up 5 a.m. and eat this and do this and do that. And I'm like,
Sound like she
what we doing right now?
Man,
That's crazy, man. Come on.
One thing you mentioned, Sam, you said respect the game. To me, that's like that's probably like the first thing I ever learned about playing basketball. But you learn that in the street playing with older heads. Respect the game. They hit you right in your chest. Bow. Respect the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you learn what that is. It's like dojo stuff. You don't walk on the dojo mat with your sneakers on. You know what I'm saying? You don't get onto the mat until the sensei sees you and give you permission to get on the court. Yeah. You know, same thing. Like the older kids did that to us, gave us that respect for the game and respect for each other, respect for everybody out there. These kids don't have that. That's been eliminated from the equation.
Yeah,
and you can see that trickling down to the top.
Yeah, and kids don't have to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like they coming in, and because they're this hot shot freshman or whatever, they don't have to earn it. It's like, all right, yeah, we know your name, who you are. We're gonna give them the spot instead of making them have to fight and battle for it. You know what I'm saying? And really earn it is just given because they got this name out there that everybody, likes this dude, or, and they don't have to fight and earn it.
Yeah.
Ain't more shirts and skins. Ain't no more shirts.
Yeah, it's it's different. It's definitely different.
Yes.
Definitely.
My bad. Sim, you going on at 10:30?
Nah, actually, I forgot about the game. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna go on after the game. Just talk about after the game. Yeah.
No doubt.
So Brunson starting, Edwards, Ingram, Bridges, and Jaren Jackson Jr. That's who's starting.
I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate you fellas joining for sure. Welcome back, Sim. We missed you. It feels like we all been on a little bit of a hiatus. You know what I mean? But
yeah, a little bit. I just been up and down the road, man. Up and down the road, trying to support my family as much as I can.
Yeah, the 95 life. The I-95 life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the dad life is no life, man. As long as you got kids on this earth and you're a good father, it's like you never got time for nothing.
Hey, Sim, let me ask you a question. Do you remember when Greg Boo Harvey played for Puerto Rico and they played against the USA team? Michael Jordan.
He balled out.
Yeah.
Remember Mike said that's the fastest, quickest dude I ever been in front of. Yeah, shout out to Greg Boo Harvey, man. Because I'm thinking because Puerto Rico played tonight, and I'm thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? In my point guard song, he's one of the guys that I mentioned in that, man.
Right.
Those in the chat don't know who Greg Boo Harvey is. Andrew Harvey, who also did the reverse layup in the movie Coming to America.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, Greg Boo Harvey, man, stood in my way too much when I was at Cardozo, man.
We don't forget those.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Any last words? Any you got anything coming, Iru?
I think I might call the game tonight.
What?
I got nothing else to do, so I think I might just sit here in front of the computer and crack the egg open, man. I haven't been on this computer in a while, so I might as well stay on this thing.
I'll tell you what. If I can't figure out where to watch it, I'll jump right in with you.
I mean, I might. I might. It depends. If my daughter's awake out there, I'll watch the game with her. But if not, I'll jump in with you.
All right, this FS1 is crazy, man. Those streaming things hard to get the thing up.
Yeah.
Funny story, man. As a kid, I used to turn the volume down, and I used to call the games too. That was my love.
Word.
My love for the game. Turn the volume off and call the game like I was the announcer. But as far as what's popping, this week we celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Maybe it's more, but that's not really, what we talking about. We talking about just recognizing the staying power of hip hop and having something to lift up and have the people, just put an arm around hip hop one time right now. So I got my radio show on iHeart. I do every Friday night from 8 to 10. This Friday is the anniversary or the so-called anniversary, depending on right. Depending on your outlook. The widely recognized anniversary. I guess we'll call it that. And I'm on the air this Friday night, so I'm going to be playing my top 50 hip hop songs in honor of 50 years of hip hop.
In order to?
Nah, I'm not gonna play it necessarily in order. Nah,
I was gonna say because you putting pressure on yourself when you start saying the order.
But
you say no particular order, now you good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But because I'm doing this exercise, I am gonna have my top 50. And because you said that, I might have to consider doing it that way. But the way I do my radio show is more of like a mixed show, like it's more like a party type of vibe versus play a song and talk. So if I did it like that, I might want to talk more. Like why this song is here and who produced it. I might want to do like a more traditional, radio disc jockey talking type of thing, but I don't want to do that. So I'm probably gonna just get my top 50 songs and just mix them all up, everything from 80s, 90s, 2000s, and my top 50 records. So y'all should stay tuned for that.
That's dope.
Then you can come back the following week and do your top 50 albums.
I can't play a whole album on
it. No. You don't have to play the album, but just showcase a list or play one song from the album.
One song from it. So.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have you on the freaking front stoop, and we're gonna analyze. Yo, you heard what Shelb said number 50 was?
I'm here for it.
Sound like a plan.
What is Shelb talking about?
I'm here for it.
Sound like a plan.
My list is looking pretty good. It's not finalized, but
me and Tony gonna be like, it should be all 50. What you talking about?
Nas 50 through 1. Your black is time.
Your black is time.
Yeah. Hey man, y'all guys have a great evening, man. Appreciate you. Watching the best point guard in the East go over here and perform, man. Hope the Knicks take notes. Get some shooters and some cutters around him. Shooters and cutters, because they talking about how he diming that thing off, man. They talking about it, man.
No doubt. Shout out to the chat one more time. Appreciate you guys for joining. I'll be back, man. I'm back consistent every Monday. The time might change, but every Monday. Appreciate you guys.